Freeze with Rolling Free TV. You already know I got some crazy. I probably got one of the craziest guests for y'all today. This is Hatchet, and it's story time.
Oh, it's story time. It is fucking story time with Hatchet. And what's the story going to be about today?
Well, Hatchet here has had quite the history in Texas. He's been around some old school clubs. He's been in some clubs. He's now started his own club, and he's just gonna break down some stuff that he wanted to talk about today for us. Maybe.
Maybe we could talk about anything you want to talk about. Just not late for dinner. And yes, I am a male, not a female. I identify as male. So
All
what's
right,
up?
let's see what I like to just start out with. What got you into motorcycles in general?
So actually, I was locked up in isolation, and I was reading a book, and it was about a dude's experience on twos. So I don't know. I never was really into it, but my mom was, and my uncles were, and I grew up in the '90s. Fast and Furious. So I was into cars. So when I come down to Texas, my wife, I was telling her, yeah, I'm probably going to get a motorcycle one day. Blah blah blah. She's like, hey, I know some people, and I was tattooing and stuff. And she's like, how about you just hit them up? They probably let you go to the clubhouse, blah, blah, blah. I messaged the wrong ones. And so that led me to almost 9 years with that club.
Okay, all right.
Mm,
What club did you end up running with?
1% Cossacks.
All right, and you were there for a while.
Yeah, almost 9 years. I left for a little bit, and then I had two brothers go down, and I ended up going back to them and helping out their leadership and shit. And then that club fluctuates and never stays steady, and then all of a sudden they'll let anybody in, and it just falls apart again. There's no real leadership, and if you don't live by the bylaws, then shit's bound to fall apart.
Is that what made you want to step away from that and start your own deal?
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, I wasn't going to do anything, but I had a bunch of bros. They're like, yeah, and they're all disgruntled, and they were going to go at them, and I was like, how about we just do our own thing? Well, fuck them. Who gives a shit? Blah, blah, blah. So we started doing our own thing. And it wasn't until we started getting other people, because there's a dark world. There's not all this social media people, but there's this dark world. And when it started hitting back to us, we said, fuck them all. So we just been blasting them. And we point out everything that we have, since we have left, they have done. And then some of the old stuff that they used to try and hide. I'll bring it all to light. Fuck them. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're disgruntled." How can I be disgruntled when I still actually own the trademark of that club? Like, I was the national president of that club. I own the trademark, and so fuck them. I don't care. I ain't paying the taxes this year. you know,
So,
at that, yeah. So I raised a bunch of them. And, I gave them positions and stuff because I started doing everything for them. And when I gave them the positions, they filled those positions, and then they wanted to vote me out. So voted out, whatever. I left on LL, and then they wanted me to go get my dead brother's cut off of his wife's wall. And I said, fuck that. That's going to destroy the nation, right? And their VP said, I don't give a fuck. I said, you know what? That's a good name for a club. Zero fucks given. So that's how it is.
that's how you're rolling these days.
Yep, straight up. Matter of fact, I just seen another club the other day. I mean, it's pouring rain. We have 4 inches of water on the ground. And I was like, yeah, it's time for us to go. So I got on the bike and I hauled ass. The next day they called. They're like, you really don't give a fuck. Nah, we don't. We're riding anything. We're just about that life. We love it. A lot of people are like, are you MC? No, we're a social club, man. We like to just ride, have fun. But,
Where's one
we
of the
have cars and
patches?
stuff.
I need to see one of the patches on here so people can see what you have created.
Let me get it real fast. Now I'm going to
Oh,
set the phone down so we don't lose
okay.
traction and all that.
Perfect. Hey, everybody, go ahead and do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when these videos are coming, man. We're about to hit 4,000 if we haven't already, man. Shout out to all of y'all. Couldn't do it without you. I got interviews coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. So stay on here, hit that like button. We got homeboy grabbing his cut to show us what they've created, and yeah, man, I'm glad to see everybody in here. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Comment what you think of the video, man. Run this up.
This is
Boom.
patches. Zero fucks given. And of course, we don't care about them. But those are all my fallen brothers. No, I was raised old school. Business up on top, and what you're about on the bottom. So,
There you go. I like it. I like it.
and it,
Looks good. And that's black and yellow.
yeah, black and yellow.
Very cool.
So,
That's badass,
and
man.
then,
So what made you I see it kind of looks like a upside down 1% diamond damn split in half.
yeah, so the only reason why I became a national president is because my club, after my brother Jester, well, the old club, uh, when he passed away, they said, you know what, we're going to change the name. I was the only one in East Texas that stood up and said, we ain't doing that. And then later on, a bunch of my other brothers end up coming back and we restarted the 1% Cossacks. So that's what that represents.
Oh
I'm
shit.
in black can.
I'm
So,
black. Can I join the gang? I don't know. I don't know. I think they probably have clubs better suited for what you're looking for, just to be honest. These guys look pretty white and redneck to me.
oh no, we have mixed. We're a mixed race. We are.
Hell yeah.
That's one thing. You know, bikes don't discriminate. So why should we discriminate? That's how I see it.
We shouldn't. That's true.
Oh no, Post Malone's my cousin. I did a video on TikTok about it.
Really?
Nah, he ain't my cousin. How many times I heard that Post Malone? I can't afford a grill like his.
People like to call me that too. It's ridiculous. Jelly roll.
Yeah.
I get it all.
You
I
get
get
it
it all. I
all.
wish I had their money.
Yeah, damn right. Me too. I'd have a nicer bike.
So you started, you read something about bikes, you got a bike, you got into bikes, you got around people that were on bikes. You were in the lifestyle for the years gone by. You still are. As a lot of us know anything about the 1% lifestyle, we could all throw in our 2 cents. It's whatever. I believe it's falling apart and they're eating themselves from within, a handful of them. And so now you started this. This is a social club, you're calling it, and black and yellow. And how is this going for you so far?
How's it going? It's going really good actually. Hey, it's growing. It's doing its due diligence. But here's the one thing about this lifestyle. You'll have your growth and then you'll have your ungrowth. And then you'll have your growth, you'll have your ungrowth. It's the guys that stay solid that you
Growing
always have.
pains. And it's about the
Always.
real
You always
ones.
have those. Yep.
The real ones make a big difference, man. And looks like you have a handful of real ones with you. And you guys have been, you're growing, like you said. What is it like? What is the difference between biker politics in Texas versus everywhere else in the United States?
So that's one of the questions I get asked a lot. Uh, it really depends what region, because you have pretty much 5 different regions in the United States, and each little state has their off little brand. Back in the day, probably no 6 right before the blue wave, you knew who the dominant was, right? So you go there, you hang out with them, blah blah blah, and then you had the blue wave, and then when the blue wave happened, then you had other waves happen.
Yes, we have a green wave happening
And
right now on the West Coast, it seems like.
you know, and it's just one of those things. So who's the dominant, who's not? It all depends. Really depends in your area. And like this guy said, down here, his little comment. Is it? I mean, because from Houston to my way, it's a different story.
Times
And
change.
so, yep,
These
times do
guys say these
change.
old school clubs, they don't hold down those places forever. And these new clubs coming up, staying with the times, start taking things over. It's not how everybody thinks it is.
Well, the hardest thing is the elders are passing away. Old school is not being taught and is getting washed. And I don't care what club you're in, though. If you don't have the old school, in politics, then this new school stuff, people are people are like, oh, we're not gangs, but the shit never happened in public. You know what I mean? It
Right.
was hidden behind the scenes, and now you see it all over the place.
So people keep of course you know what people are saying, Twin Peaks. But before we get into that, because we could get into that, but I don't want to forget for us to try to explain about there's like 4 that I know of different Cossacks in the United States.
So well, here in Texas, you have the black and gold Cossacks, the split. So a lot of news media is like, oh, ugly men come from 1% Cossacks. Ugly men got their name from 1% Cossacks. After we split, we started calling them ugly men. We split from them. And so that's that's facts. It's not the other way around. They've been around since 1969. 1% Cossacks has only been around since 2016. And so you can see the split right there. Then you have the Russian Cossacks. And then there's the circus performers. They were Cossacks, and they did some badass shit on their bikes. They'd stand 30 people up on their bikes, and so there's a lot of different Cossacks. And a lot of people do get it mixed up. Matter of fact, I was watching a Easy Rider magazine where they do it on TikTok now, and they go to the old museums, and there's a Cossack cut I have never seen in my life in there, and it
Wow.
was all red. And I was like,
Wow.
"What's this?" So I asked my elder, and he was like, "I've never seen it before." I mean, he's been in the lifestyle for over 40 years.
Damn, I wonder where that one came from. No, but what the bottom rocker say?
Oh, I couldn't see it. All I know is the top rocker said Cossacks,
Cossacks.
and
You're
it
like,
was
what is it?
tucked. Yeah, it was tucked up underneath a bunch of other old cuts,
Hell
but you can
yeah.
clearly see the man. And you can clearly see the top rocker.
So what is your whole we had to get into it. I wasn't even gonna bring it up. What is the whole thing with Twin Peaks? What did that do for Texas? What did that change in your world?
So I came after Twin Peaks. A lot of people think I was before Twin after. I joined in 2018,
And what year was Twin Peaks?
2015.
But you've heard all about it. You obviously have more insight than most of us. What do you think could
So,
have gone better? Could have gone worse?
oh, it could have definitely gone better. Anything's better than that. And my thoughts on Twin Peaks is 9 people died. And really, it doesn't matter what color they were. It was 9 people. There's 26 that was wounded. You know, a lot of people lost their jobs. Uh, the impact of it, they lost their jobs, they lost their bikes, lost their lives. And that's from financial to death. And so I think it was one of the biggest biker violations of civil rights out there. And that's just my feeling on it.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I asked, because there's so many aspects to look at, and you definitely hear more when it's in your state. And just people might not think about how much it really changed a lot of people's lives there. And hundreds of people went to jail, and because most of them shut the fuck up, they all got out.
Well, it's not just that they shut up. It was that there's so many different eyewitnesses that the evidence wasn't lining up.
Couldn't get a straight
Because
story out of nobody.
so 1% cost X to be a full
I'm gonna
patch
tie
member,
my
you had to
shoes.
know you had to know about everything on the history of Twin Peaks. You had to know everything from that day. You had to memorize it. And you got drilled.
You did.
Yep.
Personally. That's why I asked, because with a lot of clubs, they're gonna ask you. That's obviously became club history. Duh, right? So you
And
know what happened
this
there.
guy's right. The cops. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of the evidence on it. So if you read the autopsy and you read all the reports on it, okay, not one of those bikers had gun residue on them. Not one of them.
Oh wow.
And so they're either shot by in the crowd or police officers. 5 of them are known to be shot by police officers. There's a video of the sniper saying he dropped 4 of them.
I remember
And
when
you
all
could
that
tell,
happened too.
yep. And so that's the truth. And when I became a national president, I actually retired everybody that was from Twin Peaks because they had so much hate for that was actually bleeding into the club and causing bad blood between my own brothers. And then
Wow.
we were losing our own guys, and it was unreal. They would mourn them, but they wouldn't mourn our guys that we were losing in the streets as the days was going on. But we held something special for them. So, I mean, if it was a memorial club, then it should be all the brothers, not just the 7.
Man.
And so we started changing that, but then they started bringing it back in.
Who popped the first round?
Uh, so me personally, I believe it was a sniper up on the roof. He saw a pew pew come out. I don't even, yeah. He saw a
Right.
gun come out, and
Mouse
I think
Cthulhu.
he was, yeah, and he was the first one to drop a one ugly man Cossack. So
Damn. And then
I believe it
everybody
was
just was so on
police.
edge. Everybody was so on edge that they just did what they did. But I
Oh,
think the police looked pretty militant when they were going through the parking lot and popping people. Like they planned on that's what was going to go down. Looked premeditated on their end.
well, and that's one of the reasons why everybody got their cases dropped because the evidence wasn't showing the way that the police officers wanted. Actually, you can watch the dash cam. It's on YouTube. You can
Yeah,
watch a whole hour and 45 minutes of it.
I've seen it, man.
And
I
it,
remember when it happened. It was big news.
well, the dash cams is on, and it's only maybe 60 seconds long where the fight broke out from start to finish. But you can
Right.
see everything rolling in. You can see, and I know every one of the people that are standing up front and on the balcony. I've met them, 95% of them, all personally. And so,
Oh yeah.
and it is absolutely crazy. Matter of fact, I laugh all the time when people are like, "Oh yeah, there's 192 bikers," and it's so easy. It's 170 bikers, and people are like, "It's 177," and then they want to talk about a guy getting his foot ran over in the parking lot, and the fight started in the bathroom. It all started in the parking lot over a guy's foot. It
Ran
literally
over
over
his
a guy's foot.
foot, huh?
Well, that's
See?
the thing, though. That's the thing in the biker culture. The sponsor is supposed to have his prospect in check, right? And if another club disrespects his prospect, he has to treat that prospect as a brother because your brother's always right in public. And that's what happened. That's that politic. And instead of de escalating the situation, they shot it up.
And then the
Yeah, it
sniper
happened over
started
a
getting
bunch of guns.
after it.
Yep. Somebody pulled out theirs, and all of a sudden they saw a weapon and they started opening fire.
Wow. Yeah, and it was dragged
And
out.
there's,
Those dudes had to sit in there for a while, huh? Few weeks.
yep. Oh no, there's some guys that sat up in there up to 6 months on $1 million
Yikes.
bond. Matter of fact,
Yikes.
there's a bunch of clubs out here that wear $1 million bond patches. They were a part of Twin Peaks. So if you see $1 million bond, they were there.
Nice. All
So
right, guys, you got the Twin Peaks out of us. You squeezed the Twin Peaks out of us. Of course, it was going to come up. Of course, Hatchet has some knowledge.
and you know what? All my knowledge ain't just all the right stuff either. I got one version, and actually I got some of the red and gold side too, because I met some of the guys that were there over there. So it's just a rabbit hole. The more you dig into it, the more shit you find. And you will find some shit.
And if you got your shovel sharpened and you are on and ready to dig, you will find some shit.
Oh yeah. So
So what? So now back to zero fucks given. So upside down 1% tag. It's a zero fucks. What's it? What is it? Zero fucks on the top given, and then what's it say on the bottom?
no, it says zero fucks and then it's given. There is no
Nice.
bottom rocker.
Okay.
Because wherever
And
it's like the Metallica song, right? Wherever
hell yeah,
my feet land is home.
that's right.
Because
Wherever I
you
may
don't own no
roam.
land. You pay taxes on your land. So
Right.
fuck it. You don't own nothing.
That's true. So what type of stuff do you guys like to get into? Do you guys camp together? You guys work together? You guys go to the bars together? You ride, obviously you ride together. What's zero fucks given really about?
And so right now it's all about foster kids, autistic kids, and pushing this anti-pedo lives don't matter. And
Yeah.
so
No
that is one of the
PDO-5s or whatever they call them on here allowed.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not really on YouTube that often. TikTok,
So
PD3s.
yeah, P3POs, lames,
Yep.
lops, all that
Yep.
shit. We ain't into it. All right, so you guys, maybe you do little runs here and there for the community, for the kids, and what's a day in the life look like? I saw you ran out of gas in the rain the other day.
Oh, that was a fun day. Uh, I'll tell you that people will pull over if you end up sleeping in the rain. I was tired. I woke up at o'clock in the morning, went to work, did a full day's worth of work, went out, rode the bike, met up with the club. On the way back, forgot gas. Has a little bit. And ran out of gas. And then I was sleeping on the side of the road, and somebody came and gave us some gas. It was an adventure. And that's really what life's about, is that adventure. It's a good old boy system. I have guys that work with me, My nephews actually wrestle. They're doing all the backyard wrestling stuff. Their little spider crew. They go out there and wrestle for charity. Yesterday, they wrestled for ladies' heart surgery. And so they're out there. I had one nephew at a anti-pedo rally, fucking standing there holding signs. I have brothers, of course, over there watching them. I have an autistic nephew that we're trying to push for more autistic teachers in schools and foster care children. Before you leave the system, make sure you get all of your paperwork because after 2 years they'll destroy your files. You have 2 years after you leave the system to sue the system. And a lot of foster kids don't know that. And so
Oh,
we're working
wow.
on that. Uh so if you were abused in foster care, that is the way that you do that. So it's really bringing awareness. And that's not the only patch we have. We have one piece patch for the social side. The guys that
Cool.
like to drive cars, pick up trucks, and then we have that. And so it's not
The
just one
wilder
thing.
ones.
And why would you want to label yourself? You know what I mean? Just all MC or all car club or all this or all that. Because the good old boy system never had that. They never were about that. And the old school ways, they were all gearheads. 100%. Yeah, they had motorcycle clubs because they were race teams and on tracks, and they would go and they'd spend the money, and that's really how it formed, right? But the old school ways was porch memories. Porch memories. And that's what every one of my elders. So I have a bunch of elders that came from different clubs, and I talk with them and they're like, "Hey, Hatchet, you're fucking up," or "Hey, Hatchet, why don't you try this? This would be awesome." Matter of fact, I showed them my cut and they're like, "That's the old school way of doing stuff." So they're all happy for me. And really, it's about the families. So one of my biggest things is, in the 80s, we're all close. You didn't hear about all this pedo bullshit, and you didn't hear about kids needing to know if they're a kitty cat or whatever. And, you know, back in the day, our families were so close that we grilled, at least twice a month with each other, block parties, kids outside playing around, and a little bit of old school. And West Virginia is still like that. A lot of people don't know that. Back in the backwoods, those families still live next to each other. They still, break bread every week with each other.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the biggest missions. And I don't really care who doesn't like it because literally my back patch says zero fucks given. I mean, growing up, a lot of
Time
people are like,
machine.
"Hey, how did you become ICP, right? Into ICP?" I lived in Denver, Colorado. That's the most hated fucking thing in the world. You know what I mean?
Yep. Zero fucks given, dog. It seems like you've always been
Yep.
like that. Ever since
I
I
was
seen you on the
dropped on my
internet.
head.
Okay. Somebody said in the comments that the foster care system is a racket. How do you feel about that?
Foster care system is a racket, and so is family court. It's all it is a money game. It's designed to separate families and make the families pay the government to see their children. Really think about it.
Yeah. If they want to see their children.
Yep. Really think about it. Custody battle, fathers have to fight. Most fathers ain't abusive father till after custody battle starts.
Right.
So
That's true.
that is one of the biggest things. Same thing with there's some children that need to leave foster care system, but actually be put in the foster care system. But not back in the 80s, if you even did what you did, your child was going to foster care system.
Yeah, I wanted to throw that in there because I think I've seen you post a few posts like you grew up a bit in the foster system.
In correctional facilities before the age of 18.
Hey, what
And
about
matter of
that?
fact, one of my foster
What
sisters.
about that lame that didn't show up to street beefs after he talked all that shit?
I don't know what happened. Where is he? I don't know. Maybe because he talked all that shit online, he couldn't face reality of people coming at him.
So the
Definitely because I'm only 5'6", he's 6'3", 300 pounds. I'm 150 pounds.
and you showed
Soaking
up.
wet. I did. I showed up.
He showed up to
Hey, let me
street
tell you,
beefs
they have a really good bar.
after this dude called him out for months, punching dog food, telling everybody what he was going to do to Hatchet, talking big game, barking a barking bad all over TikTok. His name was Patriot Biker.
American Patriot.
Yeah, American Patriot
Yep.
Biker, something like that. And he had he's in like a renegade club or something like that. I don't know. He used to be a Vago. Man, he was talking tall shit on Hatchet, and when the day came, crickets. And Hatchet went there. Hatchet went to where the event was, and then all of a sudden, Homeboy was just gone, and I was even talking to that dude in the background.
You know, a lot of people were, and a lot of them had bets that
Much
I wouldn't
appreciated,
show.
Mike.
I showed up, and you know what? I'm going to tell you about street beefs. If you haven't gone to street beefs and you're in one of their locations, check it out. They got good bars, awesome people. And here's the thing, if you actually do want to fight dirty, they will let you fight dirty. They just won't let you kick somebody in the back of the head, which is fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, come on.
You could hurt someone real bad that way, but
Yeah,
they're a bunch of good guys.
yeah. I thought that was a trip, man. That guy carried on and did a lot of talking, and
And
you
it
talked some
wasn't
shit back,
months, it
but you
was
were
3
mostly just like
years.
show up. 3
Yeah, dude,
years.
3 years. And for 3 years, I said, come on, let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's go. That was good
And
shit.
so,
So what's your TikTok? So everybody, you are huge on TikTok.
so you could find me underneath story time. You could just look up Hatchet and it'll pop up. But it's head fuck Hatchet. So I'm the head fuck of all the disgruntled fucks.
That's badass, man.
And actually, we didn't. So
Go for
when
it.
my brother Billy Jack, before he became the national president of 1% Cossack. So in my whole time being in that club, there's been 9 national presidents, even me. So that tells you how scattered it was all over. But we're sitting there one day, we're drinking, we're like, hey, and my brother Dippy was there too. We're drinking, and we're like, hey, let's make up our own club. So we made up 6 bylaws, simple bylaws. And we're like, yeah, we're going to call it Zero Fucks Given because we don't really give a fuck. And it's kind of funny that, after Dippy passed, they wanted us to strip his wall. The VP goes, well, I don't really give a fuck. I was like, you know what? That's a good name for a club. And so we just chopped it up, like me and the bros, because when I left, everybody left. And I didn't leave first. That's the thing. My brother out in Colorado left first, and his whole chapter left. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm done. Like, and all my guys follow suit with me. And so we're just chopping it up. And we came up with the disgruntled diamond sign, and we ran with it because we're all
I
disgruntled
like it.
diamonds.
I like it. The disgruntled diamonds. But you're not disgruntled like that. You know what I mean? When people are trying to talk shit, it's not like that. It's just like not disgruntled in a way that it hurts your feelings, but disgruntled in a way like I'm sick of the bullshit.
Well, I am. You know, here's the thing. You know, we do background checks every 6 months. All right. we don't want those type of people around us. We don't like, man, if I go over and I tell my brother something, I know he's going to keep that secret. You know what I mean? He's not going to run to this person, this person, this person, this person. And that's just keeping your circle small. And I don't ever care if it grows. None of us do. And we're not pushing patches. We're not out there for the dollar. We don't care. Like this patch right here, yeah, we're pushing this patch, but we're not collecting no money off of it. We're giving it away. Like we don't care. At the
What's
end of
that
the day,
say on there?
it says pedal lives don't matter.
Hell yeah. Fuck those motherfuckers. If
Yeah,
you
we're
want to get
selling
one of
our.
those, find Hatchet on TikTok and get it him on whatever that make sure it's him. I'm sure he'll write you back. He'll shoot you one of those for some coin. Tommy Hellfinger, if you have some kind of social media, get at me on there or the Rolling Free email. But if you I'm sure that Zero Fucks Given is gonna be growing. We're gonna be hearing lots about you guys. You're already kicking up a little bit of dust. But if anybody wants to buy these patches, not the patches that they have on, but the patches that they sell to help what they're doing, get it Hatchet, man. He's got them. Those look pretty cool.
Yeah, and one of the
Pretty
things is we're not really digging up any dust. Like
sure.
everybody that I have talked to, they absolutely love what we're doing. As long as we stay in our lane, they don't really give a shit.
Exactly. That's what it comes down to. Respect gets respect, and nobody respects fucking three C3POs or whatever the damn call them on here. And their lives don't matter. And you know, respect gets respect. People will talk all the shit in the world, but when you roll up there with all your homies and you ain't bothering nobody, people probably aren't really trying to bother you.
No, I'm known to go by myself. Like that's just how we are. And so
But
if
you
we
said
have,
you haven't been really digging up dust. I've seen a few videos on TikTok that have
oh,
said
they ain't
F
dust.
some people. F some
They ain't
people.
dust.
That ain't dust. That's some Texas Kool-Aid.
Yeah, they
Texas
ain't
tea.
dust.
That's kicking shit kickers. Kicking up some
Hell yeah.
shit.
That's
Hell yeah.
that's what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, they they ain't done. So it's not really kicking any dust.
Well, he's not going to admit it on here, guys, but you should go onto his TikTok and check out some of those videos. Uh, they're fun to watch. They're pretty cool. They're
Oh, my
pretty
new
cool.
sport gear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about.
Well, that's my trademark and my copyright. And so
So you can
I'm
do
really
whatever you want
like,
with it. Thank
yeah, I
you.
can do whatever I want with it. And see, here's the thing: when I became a national president, it wasn't actually protected. It was only protected underneath the LLC, which they never paid the taxes on. So when I became the national president, I started paying the taxes on, and I took it over, and then it became mine. So
I just recently heard about a dude that was president of a charter, but he quit his club that he was in and he went in and kicked a few people out. And then he said he was done and he's out good. And he could make that rule because he's the president, but then he quit.
no, so the old school way, lot old school way is if you hand in your leather, like the whole leather, you have a possibility of it just being a AOL, right? But when you cut them off, or you burn them, or you piss on them, you're out bad. So you put yourself out bad when you do that.
I think I might have seen somebody pissing on some things.
Just a little bit. I mean, I do have their name upside down on my side.
You don't give a fuck. Zero of
And
them.
actually, that's the first set of side rock top rockers they ever had. That's how old that is.
Hatchet don't fuck
That's
around. He's a good dude, and he'll show up and fight about it too. And you know what?
yep.
Sounds like he's doing his thing, helping his community where he can. I know you have. I know you have. You're helping people out all the time behind the scenes as well.
Oh yeah. Well, the only way to fix all this shit the Democrats and the Republicans and the government does to us is if we just band together and fuck them. And so that's the truth.
Yeah,
It's the only
right.
way you can do anything.
Is
The
there
more
anything else
people
you wanted
that
to
you
cover
get together.
on here tonight? Is there anything maybe you that popped into your head while we were on here? Something
Nah,
that you want the
uh,
world to know?
nah. I pretty much blasted it all on TikTok.
Yeah, everybody needs to go check out his TikTok. He is getting after it on there. How many followers you got?
I got 16,000,
That's
but
pretty
a lot of my
damn good.
friends have hundreds of thousands. And
Right.
so they'll be like, God damn it, Hatchet. Sometimes they're like, I can't believe you just did that. And it's like, fuck it. If I
I've
can
thought
make
that a
fun of
few times
myself,
myself.
yeah. I can make fun of myself worse than anybody in the world. And so at the end of the day, I don't care. And that's the best thing about it. Like when I tore out of that bar with my brother and it's 4 inches of rain and another club calls you in the next day and was like, hey, my guys are like, he really doesn't give a fuck. No, he goes, I guess he doesn't. And he had to tell me. And he's like, bro, you have completely lost it. I say, look, I'm free and I'm off of fucking leash. Say a lot of people didn't know when I was in the club, I was on a leash. I wasn't free. I had to stick to those bylaws. And I only have 6 bylaws. Makes it
It
real
gets
fucking
real
easy.
simple, real quick, huh?
Real simple, real quick.
You kind of
Yes.
chopped up a little, I think, when you told the story earlier. A few days ago, you went riding in the rain and ran out of gas and decided to take a nap, and people were pulling over and thinking you were unalived.
Yes.
How are your brothers
And
reacting to that?
well, it was only one brother there, and he stood ground the whole time and he videotaped it when it lessened the rain. And he's like, were you tired? I was like, damn right I was. And that's more old school than anything. He's like, I don't even know how you were sleeping on your back, looking up at the rain, and it's just pouring on your face. Like it didn't bug me. I was that tired. But the old school ways was if you ran out of gas,
So
either
talking
you
about the
put it in
old
your bike.
school, I know you've been raised by some old school. How do you feel? Oh, how do you feel old school feels about the 1% diamond? Should you ask somebody permission or should you just put one on? What's the more 1% thing to do?
So it depends what old school you're talking about. So really old school, they didn't ask permission for anything, right? They just
Right,
did. They just went
right.
at it, and if you had an issue, they got a problem. Uh,
Barbarian.
and then, and then in the like nowadays, people think the '90s is old school.
We're getting
And
there.
so when
Wow.
they started coming together, and then you started getting your permission. This is the dominant, and this is the dominant, and this is how we're going to fix the situations and shit. That's you go ask permission. It's about who you are as a personality. And there's a lot of I don't dog any other. I dog one club, and fuck them. I don't give a shit.
Oh, we see that.
But yeah, but I don't dog clubs, man. Like I had no direction in life at all. I was like, I'm batshit crazy. So when they gave me rules and protocols to follow, it allowed me to have my own set of rules because I ain't going to listen to, the law. Obviously, I've been arrested so many times in my life. If I'm going to beat up somebody, I'm going to beat them up. It's just what it is. If this dude has a problem and he's in my face, I'm going to punch him. That's how men are, right? Definitely men like I grew up. And then they gave me a set of laws and boundaries and stuff like that, and they enforced it, and it made me a better person. And over time, see, I was a greedy son of a bitch growing up. Everything was about me, blah, blah, me, this, and this. And then when I came into the club, it wasn't about me, it was about the guy standing next to me. And so at the same thing, you just I end up learning boundaries. And then the first nice thing I ever done was for a brother that lost his leg wheelchair. And now I'm doing charity work.
That's
Went from
badass,
being,
man. But
yep.
went from
So,
being a me to trying to help somebody else.
yep. And I like talking about foster care, but I caused some of the 32 homes to kick me out of their homes. You know what I mean? And group homes. And I had to take it up on me.
Straight up. That's how I feel too, is I can blame certain people for certain things, but I can blame myself for twice as much and try to learn from both and just be better every day. And it
Yep.
goes pretty good.
And it does. And I'm going to tell you before club life, I bounced woman, 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 woman. I got my wife. We've been together almost 10 years now. So
Nice.
it, it works out and gave me a set protocols and boundaries.
Definitely, man. And yeah, I hear how you talk about her in the background. You love her, and it sounds like she's got some, and sounds like she is just crazy enough to be with you.
Just them. Actually, so my foster dad, right? My foster dad just whole opposite of me, right? When he met her, he did a background check on her. He's like, "You're perfect for my son."
Man, that's hard to do. Well, shit, man. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time to come on here, Hatchet. I would definitely like to have
No
you
problem.
come on again if there's any updates. For all the homies that want to watch it or share it too, it's rolling free TV on YouTube, man. Everybody hit that like button, subscribe, notification bell. Go follow Homeboy at what'd you say it was?
Fuck Hatchet. I'm just Hatchet online. I'm right next to the Hatchet serial killer. That was my number one goal on TikTok. Remember Hitchhiking Hatchet?
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Smash,
I was
smash,
like, yeah,
smash.
smash.
Kyle,
Yeah.
Kai.
That was my whole goal on TikTok was just to be next to one of his videos, and it happened.
Dude, I like having you on. You definitely have the people entertained on here, man. And your stuff on that you post is good, and you got some good morals going on in the damn biker world. There should be some more people doing some shit like that.
Yeah, this guy wants to know what kind of bike I ride.
And
So
I
I
almost
ride
asked
a
that
90,
right now too.
yeah, a 96 Dyna Wide Glide 88 Evo with switchback, and I did not know it. I also have two 25. So I ride all kinds of different bikes. It doesn't matter.
That's badass, man.
I'm about Harleys. Now, some of my other bros they ain't about them, but you know, the bike doesn't make the solid brother either.
I'd rather push a Harley than ride anything else, dog. I always have a Harley, a Dyna, preferably, and yeah, man. Fuck, we'll have to do this again sometime.
Hell yeah. I prefer Harley, just so you know.
Hell yeah,
Everything else I
Hatchet.
just don't feel comfortable on.
Well, that's the end of story time with Hatchet, man. Love and respect. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks again for coming on here, bro. That was a badass episode. Everybody hit that like button.
Not a problem.
Peace.